Christopher Nash. Chris Elliott is an American actor, comedian, and writer. He is best known for his comedic sketches on Late Night with David Letterman, starring in the cult comedy series Get a Life on Fox TV and Eagle Heart on Adult Swim, as well as his recurring roles as Peter McDougal on Everybody Loves Raymond and as Mickey Aldrin on How I Met Your Mother. He has also starred in films such as Cabin Boy, There's Something About Mary, Scary Movie 2, and Groundhog Day. He is starring as Roland Schitt on CBC Television's Schitt's Creek. Early life. Elliott was born in New York City, and is the youngest of 5 children of Lee, a model and TV director, and Bob Elliott, who was part of the successful comedy team Bob and Ray. He has English and German ancestry. He grew up on the Upper East Side. He attended the National Theatre Institute at the Eugene O'Neill Theatre Center in the spring of 1979. Career. Elliott became known in the mid-late 1980s, when he was a writer and performer on Late Night with David Letterman, playing an assortment of recurring quirky, oddball characters. His characters on the show included The Regulator Guy, a parody of the Terminator films. The Regulator Guy spoke with a vaguely Germanic accent and claimed to be from the future. The Regulator Guy segments were usually pre-taped and presented by Letterman as the trailer for an upcoming television series. The font used for the title was similar to the font used for the then-popular American television series The Equalizer. In The Regulator Guy's only live-on-stage appearance, Elliott, carried by wires, flew over the audience via jetpack onto the late-night set. The jetpack prop appeared to malfunction, which the Regulator Guy then blamed for ruining his dramatic appearance. The Fugitive Guy, a parody of the TV series The Fugitive. The Panicky Guy. Elliott would pretend to be an audience member, who panics and runs from the studio at the slightest threat of danger. Once in the hallway he would be run over and crushed by an advancing floor waxer, with his hands raised in terror. In one variation, he played a German panicky guy in Lederhosen, who was run over by a hand dolly full of cheese wheels. The Guy Under the Seats, a short character comedy bit followed by Elliott as himself, who eventually becomes angry at Letterman and threatens him with some metaphorically articulated comeuppance in the future, and always closing with the line, "But until that day, I'm gonna be right here, making your life a living hell." The Conspiracy Guy. During staged audience question and answer sessions with Dave, Elliott would approach the microphone and begin accusing Letterman of various plots and schemes, after which security would wrestle Elliott to the ground and drag him out of the studio while Elliott yelled threats at Dave. Marlon Brando, a parody of Brando, whom Elliott portrays as a semi-deranged man who performs a banana dance to the tune of Alley Cat. Chris Elliott, Jr., a spoof of talk show host Morton Downey, Jr., a television miracle. During one late-night special focused on short films, Elliott was the star of a short about himself, alluding that he was actually an animatronic being that was created for the TV show. The miracle was the behind-the-scenes work needed to bring his character to life and others. In 1986, Elliott starred in the Cinemax special FDR, a one-man show, a spoof comedy about the life and times of the president. He looked and sounded nothing like the man. He portrayed events from Roosevelt's life that never happened, such as a Japanese bombing of the White House, and his crossing the Potomac in a rowboat. By the end of the show, he had performed Gallagher's shtick of smashing watermelons and other soft fruits on stage. Many of Elliott's early film roles were as a supporting actor in non-comedies such as Michael Mann's Manhunter and James Cameron's The Abyss. In 1990, Elliott created and starred in his own sitcom, which was called Get a Life, about a 30-year-old paperboy named Chris Peterson who lived at home with his parents. Elliott's real-life father, Bob Elliott, appeared in the show as Chris' father. The January 1999 issue of TV Guide called the Zoo Animals on Wheels episode the 19th funniest TV moment of all time. In 1993, Elliott teamed up with producer Brad Hall and directed a series of critically acclaimed short films that Elliott showed when appearing on Late Show with David Letterman. Elliott became a cast member of Saturday Night Live in 1994. Also that year, Elliott starred in his first movie, entitled Cabin Boy, which also featured a short appearance by Elliott's old boss, David Letterman, and was produced by Tim Burton. It was nominated for a Razzie Award for Worst New Star. In 2007, Elliott again began appearing on The Late Show with David Letterman with fellow former Letterman writer Gerard Mulligan. On average, these bits appeared once per month. His other television credits include The Chowder Taster on Throwdown with Bobby Flay, aired 9 February 2009, and the voice of Dogbert on the short-run show Dilbert for UPN. He played a serial killer in the series Third Watch in episodes 5, The Hunter, Hunted, and 6, Greatest Detectives in the World, from season 6. He played the role of Peter in the last 3 seasons of Everybody Loves Raymond and the role in a semi-autobiographical sitcom pilot for CBS, entitled You've Reached the Elliots, playing a man who tries to balance a modest show business career with his home life. As of 2009, Elliott has played the estranged father of How I Met Your Mother character Lily Aldrin, whose relationship has strengthened as the show has progressed. As well as multiple appearances on The King of Queens, Elliott made guest appearances on The Late Show, That 70s Show episode 2000 Light Years from Home, and According to Jim. Since February 3, 2011, Elliott has starred in the Adult Swim series Eagle Heart, produced by Conan O'Brien's production company, Conoco. In 2015, he had a guest role on an episode of NBC's Law & Order Special Victims Unit and began a starring role as Roland Schitt in Schitt's Creek. Author Elliott has written 3 books spoofing history or pseudo-history. Daddy's Boy, a son's shocking account of life with a famous father, is a comedic fictionalized biography about growing up with his famous father, spoofing Christina Crawford's Mummy Dearest. The Shroud of the Thwacker is a historical novel about Elliott's investigation of a serial killer in 1882 New York City, spoofing London's infamous Jack the Ripper case. Into Hot Air tells the story of Chris climbing Mount Everest with a group of celebrities tagging along to underwrite the trek as he investigates his Uncle Percy's failed Everest expedition. Personal life. Elliott has been married to Paula Needett since 1986. Needett worked as a talent coordinator on Late Night with David Letterman when they met. They have 2 daughters, Abby and Bridie. Abby was a cast member of Saturday Night Live from 2008 until 2012, making her the first SNL cast member to be the child of a past cast member. His father Bob Elliott of the popular comedy duo Bob and Ray co-starred on a SNL Christmas episode in the 1978-1979 season 4th season, making for 3 generations of Elliott's on SNL. Filmography. Television. Eagle Heart, Bored to Death, Duckman, as Dr. Ramus Elliott, How I Met Your Mother, The Nanny, According to Jim, The Adventures of Pete and Pete, Everybody Loves Raymond, The King of Queens, Wings, The Larry Sanders Show, Saturday Night Live, Get a Life, Late Night with David Letterman, Still Standing, Sabrina, the Teenage Witch, Dilbert, voice of Dogbert, Miami Vice, Code Monkeys, Law & Order, Special Victims Unit, Jimmy Kimmel Live, That 70s Show, Cursed, later renamed The Weber Show, Third Watch, Futurama, voice of VGINY, SpongeBob SquarePants, Conan, Community, Metalocalypse, Schitt's Creek. Awards. Primetime Emmy Awards 1984 Outstanding Writing in a Variety, Comedy or Music Program 1985 Outstanding Writing in a Variety, Comedy or Music Program 1986 Outstanding Writing in a Variety, Comedy or Music Program 1987 Outstanding Writing in a Variety, Comedy or Music Program